All right, a lot of different ways to go here after Sunday. Listen, if any of you, and myself included, even had the slightest rooting interest in the Broncos, it was a deadly dull game here. The thing was over almost after the first snap went over Peyton's head into the end zone for a safety.
It didn't snow.
And it didn't snow.
They needed
Exactly.
snow.
I mean, talk about threading the needle on this thing. Seriously, guys? If it was today, imagine how this thing would have played out, right? Let alone Sunday with Snowmageddon if it's coming or whatever. That said, though, there was a lot of other stuff that happened both after the game and during the game, nothing to do with on the field, that raised some questions. First, let's get the news thing out. It was a mess in the traffic. And in terms of, they begged everybody to use public transportation, and then at the end of the day, we didn't have enough basically trains to get everybody home. People got there and they had to wait 2 hours because they didn't have enough train cars. That's a snafu.
There were thousands of people backed up in Secaucus Junction Station. They were complaining about the lack of AC because it was warm. And on the way back, there were all these shots of people. There's a shot before the game. Mobs of people stuck at the stadium afterwards because there weren't enough trains, and they had to bring in shuttle buses. It was, and they insisted. They wanted this to be the mass transit Super Bowl. Didn't
Yeah,
they?
they were basically saying you drive here, you're going to be basically, you'll never get into the game and everything else. So they all but begged and demanded you to do it, and then you did it, you didn't get it. All right. Next thing was a halftime show here, and I thought, all things said, Bruno Mars, I did a pretty good show on, don't you think?
I thought he did an excellent job, but someone made a comment to me that the young man reminded him of James Brown and of the moves of James Brown. And I saw a little James Brown with the moves, but he's good. He's really good.
It is really funny good. Though. He takes something from every. He started off, I guess, as a Michael Jackson impersonator. That's it's somebody else's thing. Every little bit of it. I was waiting for his own shtick, but he was good. I'll give him that.
Good.
Does anybody look forward to the halftime show? Is anybody really? I mean, except for Pepsi.
No, I'm
telling you. Is anybody really that excited?
Well, if you go to a Super Bowl party with your wives, the wives do.
Right.
That's it.
Really?
Oh, definitely. They went back in. The first half ended. They were like, let's see who's performing and what the ads are and everything else.
Train wreck of the Janet Jackson.
That was 10 years ago. This was the 10th anniversary of the Janet Jackson wardrobe malfunction.
It also depends on the entertainment.
Yeah.
Bruno Mars, yes. Madonna would be something else.
No, and I think the Chili Peppers, and I'm a fan, it might be time to put the T-shirts on. But all right, that's just me. The leg warmers I'm still struggling with. Okay, but there also was a little news, if you will, that went into it, and that was 4 years ago, Bill O'Reilly interviewed President Obama, and before that he interviewed also President Bush, I remember. And you know what you're getting when you're with Bill O'Reilly, but some people said it isn't just the factor here. He went a little too hard, and it went a little over the line when you are talking with the president. Let's take a listen.
Just as an American, I'm just confused.
And I'm trying to explain it to you if you want to listen.
What'd you think?
There's a way to interview the President of the United States. You don't have to be as in his face as you would be on a primetime cable show. I understand O'Reilly's selling his brand, and he wants to keep... But to me, I found that disrespectful, and I would have found it disrespectful if he had asked President Bush the same kinds of questions, or a Republican or a Democrat.
Well, Bill O'Reilly was Bill O'Reilly. I mean, and President Obama was President Obama. But I mean, these interviews are traditional. The president always does these things with the network.
Yeah.
But I thought O'Reilly was not out of character. I mean, this is his interview style. And,
but does it matter who the subject is? In this case, the president. This wasn't ground shaking. I mean, you talked about Benghazi. You knew the question was coming. It's more, as Andrew said, the tone where you don't cut the president off repeatedly, and that's what I think a lot of people are saying. He is the president.
You could also put a news person in doing that interview as opposed to doing a commentary person. Bill O'Reilly is a commentator and a show host. They have plenty of news people at Fox News Channel.
Bill, you know what you're getting when you get O'Reilly, and the White House agreed to it.
I think Fox's, but Fox's agenda basically is common knowledge, okay? And they were out basically to upstage and embarrass the president, and who better to try to do that than O'Reilly? I mean, he asked some pointed questions. When he didn't get the answer he wanted, he accused the president basically of not wanting to say what the truth was. But look, if you don't want to...
have a problem with it or no?
No, I'm going to defend O'Reilly. When you interview the president, as we know, you have 3 minutes, start to finish. It's the president's job to say as little as possible and eat up all the time. It's your job to cut him off in a respectful way and get as many questions out as you can.
How respectful. All right, real quickly, I know we got short on time, Ralph. On the ad front, you guys got a favorite?
I like the puppy commercial.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Followed by the Cheerio commercial with the little girl. She's cute. You know.
Yeah, this puppy one though. I'm sorry. I know I was so glad to take her on this one.
Puppy's a star.
Definitely. And
I really like the Jaguar ad with the evil, like all the villains in movies are British, because it never dawned on me that was actually true until I saw the ad. I'm like, they're right. Anytime you want a villain in a movie, you could have got the British
Kingsley
accent.
was right on spot.
It was terrific.
Phil?
I like the Coke commercial, and I also like the M&M commercial.
Yeah, both those were good. And I'm with you on the puppy thing, and you guys, I think, nailed it. The Cheerios one, I just said, can you imagine, though, where you got a black guy and a white woman and obviously the biracial kid, and she works out, you know, like the other thing is, hey, can I get a puppy with a kid? They did it so well. I'm like, we don't even blink anymore. Or at least some of us don't blink anymore when we see that.
I didn't realize until I read it on Twitter. I was like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah.
I had to scroll back in my DVR.
You know, so
Tribute to how far the country's come.
in many ways. All right, when we come back, everybody, a sad passing this past weekend here, where we saw Philip Seymour Hoffman unfortunately lose his battle with drugs and his life. And we're going to remember some of his iconic roles right after this. Stay with us.